What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Star Wars Outlaws 2. And this was an interesting little story that came out yesterday from Tom Henderson, who, number one of the better insiders in the industry, period. But then when it comes to him and Ubisoft, I think he's got a lineup of people that are just willing to leak things that are happening at Ubisoft. So I take this almost a complete guarantee. The odds are you might not ever hear about something like this from them because the rumor goes that this was a very, very early thing, and he wouldn't even call it that it was like in development. I imagine they pitched ideas, and he did say they were working on it in some way. Star Wars Outlaws 2 was being worked on in some way. He wouldn't really call it in development, so maybe like the earliest of pre-production, like concepts of what a second game could be, and Ubisoft shut the thing down. You know, it's interesting. It's not surprising. You look at the history of, and I mean, I think this is what kind of articles are doing too. Look at like what Star Wars Outlaws did, and it's tough because, like, okay, my own personal opinion of it, I barely played the thing. I got it through Ubisoft Premium or Plus or whatever it's called, the monthly subscription, because I just felt at that point like I don't think it's a good idea to spend whatever it was $70 on Outlaws. I'll buy $18, be able to play, Ubisoft's portfolio, play it for a month. If I'm not into it, I'll cancel the subscription. And that's what I did. I played the game for like 2-3 days. It just didn't connect. Now, I did play it like day one. And obviously, as we've heard and as they've said, they have worked hard to get the thing patched and change it up a bit since it came out. The issue is, like, this is just the coming together of everything that's kind of wrong with the industry. This was coming together of everybody's opinions on Ubisoft, right? It was like people kind of just didn't care. People, I don't even really, you could say like people had enough. Like, even if the game was fine, I know people that really liked the thing, and that's cool. Like, it's like, for me personally, it didn't connect whatsoever. I wouldn't call it bad, but I've never felt a feeling maybe more of just playing it mindlessly and just having absolutely no connection to it. And that's why I did it the way that I did it, so that if that happened, I wouldn't be down $70, right? And I could say, okay, I'm moving on from it. Maybe one day I'll play it again. Maybe one day I will buy it or something, but definitely not then. So that's how I felt. And I mean, from a wider, it's not just about me, from a wider range, people just didn't support it. This is a game that, while Shadows is so quiet, right? They won't say how well Shadows did sales. They'll say players, right? It reached 5 million players. They really, for whatever, and I'm starting to believe the conspiracies, that game sold very poorly as well, and that was held up from subscription services too, because they're just not saying. They keep saying it's reached 5 million. How many of those bought it? And that's I think that's important, because for Star Wars, I think this game reached like 2-3 million or something around there, but so many, remember the reports were like under 1 million sales. It did really bad. And not just reports, Ubisoft then came out and said, yeah, this was a financial disappointment, it didn't work, all this jazz. Remember, right after this game came out, they delayed their like tentpole titles, right? Like the Splinter Cells and the Prince of Persia and stuff. They delayed all of them for like enhanced, like making really darn sure that those things are going to work. They did it right after Outlaws. And I don't remember if it was confirmed or if it was the rumor, but like Star Wars Outlaws literally got them scared for everything else, where they really looked at them all and said, okay, can we, and I think even Assassin's Creed Shadows got affected, in that kind of era. So this game, and it's interesting because this is not even the worst thing I believe that they've done in the last like 10 years, right? There's been far worse, like just random things that just happened. There's been random games that have just been bad. This is not even the worst, but again, this really felt like the coming together of like, this was not a Star Wars open world thing, can work, but just not done like this. And I think people were just kind of sick of Ubisoft and sick of that formula. And it just, even if it was fine, I just don't think it was good or amazing or something that people had to do. And it just didn't sell. So, I mean, I'm recapping Outlaws, but like it's why it's very unsurprising that this happened. And now what do they do next, right? It's like, one thing I will defend is at least they gave this a try, and we know Ubisoft wants to like quadruple down on like the extraction stuff and live service and all that. They go really heavy in that, and they've tried to make and I think their goal was to make like every franchise of theirs have some of those elements in it. So what's next? Like a Splinter Cell thing? You want to go into, like, you're doing the remake, but you want to make like a extraction shooter of Splinter? I don't know. You know what I mean? It's like, it's almost like, what worse things can they do now with their time versus Outlaws? And that's kind of where I get worried. But I'm not disappointed. I don't really care, to be honest with you. I think that it makes sense that this happened. It's just, okay, where does it go? It is interesting to me. Like, I would like a good Star Wars open world game. It just never felt like this game was going to do it. And you could kind of see that early on. And then the results truly speak for themselves. However disappointing or whatever that they could come to you, the results, I think, speak for themselves. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.